Welcome back to Sheauxtime. I'm sitting here today with Mondo Duplantis, Armand Gustave Duplantis.
Yeah,
Mondo.
you don't have to say that. Just say Mondo.
You don't want the whole thing?
No, just Mondo.
My friend Mondo, who graciously came over after another day of high school. How was today, by the way?
Just any normal day of high school.
The mic is... There we go.
It's just a normal day of high school. Nothing.
Senior year at Lafayette High.
That's correct.
He claims it's like a normal day, but when I went to high school, you actually had to, don't play with that, you're going to end up making all kinds of noise. I actually had to like go to school for a full day, 7 hours, but you only go for like 3.
That's the difference between Lafayette High and STM, though. That's public and private. We don't have as many classes.
What is that, all public school, or is it just y'all do like a certain block schedule?
No. Well, you have to take religion every year, right?
Yeah.
So that's one class we don't have to take.
It's true.
And then I don't even know what other classes you have to take. I mean, because
I feel like it's pretty similar, but y'all don't do block?
No. We don't do blocks.
You don't do like half classes one day, half the next?
Uh-uh.
You take every class every day, and
Correct.
yet you're only left with like 3 classes this year.
Correct.
Why are you playing with that thing again?
I just touched it. I just touched it. I didn't mean to touch it. It was
I
just
thought you were going back to fidget again.
No.
You need a fidget spinner or something? I can get you one so you can use that while we're talking.
I take Johanna's fidget spinner.
Okay. All right. Well, I was on a brief hiatus from the podcast, and part of the reason is because I was busy filming a documentary about this guy. So I kind of want to tell him a little bit about the doc and why I'm doing it in the first place. So also, it's going to be kind of complicated because we have people who listen who have no clue who you are. And if they do know who you are, they have no clue what pole vault really is.
Yeah.
Okay. And then you have people that definitely know who you are and definitely know like everything about pole vaulting, right? Who the main players are. Okay, I'm sorry. No one knows everything
I don't know
except
about
Mondo,
everything,
okay?
yeah.
but they know enough about track and field that they're in it. You know what I'm saying? They understand the numbers. They know probably what numbers are the best numbers. They know who the main people are. And so it's like we kind of have to speak. We have to speak for the people who don't know much about it. So for the people that are listening that do know, sorry, we're going to be kind of like dumbing it down a little bit. But yeah, I want to make it accessible to people so that they can actually enjoy, what you're doing, that kind of thing. So anyway, I found out about Mondo. I think our families have always known about each other for a long time. Our parents went to LSU together. They were in track and field.
I didn't know who you were until you wanted to do the documentary. Though.
You will get this. You will get this bout of personality from him throughout this entire talk. I can guarantee you that. No, he didn't know about me because I'm a loser, but I knew about him. And anyway, our parents knew of each other. I think it was like 5 or 6 months ago now. You had jumped at the indoor meet, New Balance indoor.
Yeah, I jumped.
And that was your 582 jump.
First
Okay.
19 foot.
Yeah. Okay, so let's break that down real quick for people. So 582 is 582 meters.
5.82 meters.
Yep.
5 meters, 82 centimeters.
There you go.
19 feet, 1 inch.
For the Americans?
Yeah. And do you want me to say like the significance of it or something?
Yeah, absolutely.
So it was, it kind of, I guess, especially for the American vaulters, because none of the European vaulters really know feet and inches, but it's always like this new landmark to get into when you get into like a new foot, you know what I'm saying? It's like that was my first 19-foot jump. And so
well, it wasn't just your first 19 foot, it was the first high school 19 foot, right?
Well, I was gonna get there.
Okay.
I was gonna And so that was my first 19-foot jump. That was actually beat my dad's previous personal record, who's been my coach my whole life. And his PR was 580 meters, and which is 19 feet and like a quarter of an inch.
Right.
And so, this was at the national meet, the nationals. And so it broke the high school indoor national record. And it also broke the world U20 record. So under 20 record. So under 20.
We got it.
World record.
Which you still hold.
Yeah. And, but
well,
it's not it's not that.
You broke it again.
Yeah, I broke it again.
We'll get to
outdoors.
That.
And so it was so actually a lot of people say that is no, it's not, they say it is the first high school 19-foot ever. But I was actually my sophomore year, so this was my junior year last season that I did this. My sophomore year, actually, I jumped 18 feet and a half an inch indoors, 550.
1 year ago.
1 year ago. about around this, maybe around the same time as I jumped 582, and that was the first. I'm technically the first high schooler to jump 18 feet indoors and 19 feet, because no high schoolers ever jumped 18 feet indoors other than me.
Right.
And 19, obviously. If they never jump 18, they never jump 19.
Corrales didn't jump 18 indoors?
He did, but that is, I thought meaning like a U.S. high schooler. Like okay. Anybody goes to school like they go to the national meet. So yeah. So
okay, yeah. So the cool part about that is so yeah, like you were saying, your dad has been a pole vaulter pretty much all of his life. I kind of want to talk about why he got into it in the first place, because it is kind of not a sport that most people would do.
So I don't really know how. Well, he has an older brother who's about 3 years older than him, and so I just know that he grew up in New Orleans. He went to Holy Cross High School, and his brother Robert got into it, and I don't know. I really don't know the story on how he got into it. I think it was something along the lines of, which is how most people get into pole vaulting, is the coach says, coach needs some points. They pick somebody to do pole vaulting. So then my dad's older brother, Rob, he started doing pole vaulting. Then my dad just kind of followed along with it, kind of just thought it was fun, tried it out. And so he started doing it when he was in maybe like 7th grade. I think it was 6th, 7th grade. And then, yeah, I mean, he's extremely fast, and he's very strong for his height. Very, very small person though. I mean, maybe.
I mean, he's not short. He's not 5'5". You know, I mean, he's short, but he's not that short.
5'6" and
no, he's 5'8".
He's 5'6" and 3/4.
No way.
Yeah.
He holds himself high.
Yeah. That's why he always.
He's got a good stature about him.
That's the thing. Every time. So when every time we measure ourselves, because he's so short, so he wants his kids to be a little taller. So he always measures us with our shoes on. And he tries to, and you can tell by the way he measures, goes by the head. It's just always whatever.
It's an angle.
Whatever Greg, my dad, measures you at, it's 2 inches higher than what you actually are. Or for us, at least. I don't know if he would care about any of y'all, but like for his kids, whatever he measures you at, you subtract about 2 inches. Because to him, I'm like 6'1", and I'm like 5'11".
Right. You might be approaching 6 now.
Yeah. Yeah. And so, yeah, he got into it, and then he really, like, you can see by his freshman year, he really started to excel at it. Like he was top freshman in the nation, and then sophomore year, really good. I mean, and then his junior year, he was actually only like a couple inches off from making the Olympic trials.
Right.
Yeah, and so
well, because a 19-foot jump, which is what he was jumping at the time.
Not his junior year in high school. He jumped maybe
even his junior year in high school.
But at that time, it was like 17.6 to make it to the Olympic trials.
Oh, wow.
It was a lot lower. So it kind of, you got to, I guess, put it in perspective, because, so then he later on went to jump 17.11 and 7/8 of an inch in high school. But you kind of put it in perspective, the world record was 19 feet at the time. Now it's 20 feet and 2 inches. So I'm not saying that he's better than me, which I don't think he is.
Of course.
But of course.
Yeah. We know you, dude.
Anyway. and so you can't really look at it as like I jump a foot and 4 inches.
Right. It's comparison to what the world record was at the time.
Or not the world record, it's just what people were jumping.
Right.
And so I think it's a little, maybe, I think that even if you do consider me a lot better than him, it kind of shortens the gap a little bit.
I don't know about a lot.
Maybe not a lot. Maybe we're the same. We're the same.
Well, I mean, the thing is, you're a senior and you have a lot of room to grow. And he was jumping 19. When did he actually jump his 19-footer?
He jumped his 19-foot in like 1993, maybe something like that. After college.
Yeah.
This was after college.
Okay, but I mean, so jumping 19 feet is absolutely incredible, and not many people jump 19 foot ever in their life. Most excellent pole vaulters, even collegiate athletes, to jump 19 foot.
It's very rare that a collegiate athlete will jump 19 feet.
Right.
Like if you
do, you're pro.
If you jump 19 feet as a collegiate, you're gonna win NCAAs.
Right. Exactly.
You're gonna for sure win it.
So your dad was jumping 19 foot. You have now surpassed that and jumped 19 foot. Jesus, hold on. You have jumped well, we'll get into outdoors in a second, but basically you surpassed the 19-foot mark, and you did it as a high schooler, first high schooler. So I just want to make sure people realize how much of an achievement that is. Okay, so anyway, let's talk about Texas Relays now. Or I'm sorry, I forgot to mention why I'm making the doc. So it was after you jumped 582, which again, your dad jumped 580. You jumped 582. It's kind of a cool moment where, you and your dad embraced at New Balance indoors, because it was really cool, because that was the first time you'd beat them. So it's like you were beating all these other records, high school records, but like you said, it's the first time you like beat the family record, which felt good. Okay,
wait, hold on. I have to say this, because this is like my least favorite question maybe of all time that the people ask me. Everybody asked me after this meet. They said, "Was your dad mad when you jumped 582?" And it's like
what?
It's almost like, it's like,
why
are you?
Would your coach?
It's like
mad?
I'm like, are you? And then I asked one of the. I was like, wait, you mean? I was like, laughed, and he was like, no, actually, is your dad mad? And I was like,
yeah, he's furious.
Yeah, he said, you find your hotel room tonight. You're not sleeping with me. Like, I never understood that question, because they
just want to start. They want drama, dude. They love it. They want that drama.
How could but it's like, maybe if he was if he wasn't really that much part of my life, but like he's my coach.
Yeah.
And like, it's like,
he's only going to benefit from you jumping.
Exactly. Like, why would he, like, so I never understood that question.
Also, then he can say he coached a 19-footer. It's like, that's a great, not many coaches could ever say that.
Exactly.
And so he's not only did it himself, but he's now coached another kid to do it. So, I mean,
and it's just
it's a huge accomplishment on his part.
I just thought that was a really stupid question that I just thought I should.
Okay. So look, I know we've talked about this a million times, and you've told the story a million times, but again, for the people who haven't heard it yet, tell them the story of, you're kind of poking fun at your dad a little bit when you did jump higher than him, and what was always his response?
Yeah, he always says, if I was coach, but I wasn't coached by a 19-footer though. And then, so yeah, that's
right.
always his.
Yeah. So, he can't give you, it's just to keep your ego down.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just like, yeah, he jumped 19, but I mean,
coached by me.
Coached by 19. So. Yeah. All right. So anyway, whenever he jumped 582 at New Balance, which was in March. It was in March, I think.
I couldn't tell you really.
It was earlier this year.
It had to have been. No, it was March, because the first week of April was. I think first week of April, kind of like April-ish. Wasn't it Texas Relays?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it was. That's right. So it was around March, and I had, we had heard a lot about you, just because it was like, oh, hey, there's this kid who's jumping really high, pole vaulting. And again, like, no one knows enough about pole vaulting. So they're like, oh, he jumps high. Someone could be like, yeah, he's jumping 15 feet. And most people would be like, wow.
It's like they don't know me around here as the world U20 record holder. Yeah. Or like, they don't know this. They just know
you like, hey, we got a pole vaulter.
They know pole vaulter that has some type of world record. It's not like there's no specifics.
It's
into
like,
it.
It's almost like a Guinness Book of World Records thing. Like, what did he do? Like jump, with a skateboard or something? Which you
400 nails on your nose or something.
Right.
Yeah,
it's like some dude holds some record.
Yeah, it's not like.
But anyway, so it wasn't until after 582 though, and I started seeing you just everywhere. In the national track and field type press, not locally, they still didn't give a shit, right? I mean, you weren't getting any write-ups or anything.
Well, they had,
local
I mean, like, I don't know what is good on Facebook, but like they were showing me this thing. It had like 20-something million views on Facebook of this video, and then of me jumping 582, and then there's another video that had 14 million or something.
Right.
I don't know. It might be the same people watching it, but
I think those numbers might be a little inflated. But point is, yeah, there's millions of
I don't
views.
think they're that inflated, though.
I don't know if it was 34 million views. I'll go back and check.
I could show you right now.
Okay, yeah, I actually would like to see that. You pull it up while I'm finishing this story.
It'd take a little too long for me to pull it up.
No,
it's a thing though. No, it's a thing though.
Let me just tell you, Mondo is so in love with numbers being accurate, unless he exaggerates a little bit, in which case the numbers, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Anyway, point is, definitely the video was getting millions of views, and that's when I realized I need to start maybe documenting this, because he had. I mean, in retrospect, I wish I had started, 3-4 years ago, but it's just the way it is. So after he jumped 582, I decided, all right, it's time to start filming. So for the past 5 or 6 months now, whatever it's been since March, I've pretty much been with you most days, filming you practice or traveling with you to meets, which we can get into, working on what I hope to be, a feature-length documentary that will be released after Tokyo, pending your qualification into the Olympics, which is funny because again, and we can talk about that, which is the fact that like you've already jumped so much higher than the actual qualification. So it's not a if you're gonna make it. It's just how high do you want to jump?
Are you asking me how high I want to jump?
I'm saying the question is not if you're gonna make it. It's like how high you jump or which medal do you want?
I don't feel like just like everybody asks me like, so you want to make the Olympics? And it's kind of like a vague question. So then it's like, but then you don't want to like,
you don't want to be an ass.
You don't want
to sound cocky. But what you could say is, no shit.
Yeah, but so I just kind of like, yeah, I think I have a good chance to make it. And so
because what is the qualification, or what was it this year?
It's every year. It's the same thing every year.
Okay.
It's 570.
Yeah,
and so that's
feet
18.8 in 18 feet 8 inches and 3/4 of an inch.
I mean, look, 18.8 and 3/4, really solid jump. It's a really good jump. It's not going to get you a medal, but it's a great jump.
It's good, but I mean, no, I'm not going to trash it. But like, I jumped it 9 times this year in meets,
right?
And so, I think you
have a good chance.
I think I have a good
of doing it again.
I have a good chance.
I think you can jump 570 again. Okay, so anyway, I guess the first thing that happened right after I started filming you was the one meet that I couldn't make it to, which was Texas Relays.
It's like a 3-hour drive to 4-hour drive.
I know. I had a job that day though. Okay, I have to make money somehow. As you know. So, you went to Texas Relays in Austin, at University of Texas at Austin, right? UTA. Yeah.
No,
Longhorns.
UTA. Okay.
UTA.
I feel like you just say UT though.
Okay.
You're kind of making it sound worse.
It's like ULL. You don't say that. It's inappropriate. It's just UL, even though it really is ULL.
You can say ULL.
Yeah, but people trust me, UL people, like
but
huge UL fans, man, they get.
But
saucy.
LSU fans get mad if you say UL.
Really?
Like I know some. I'm not even gonna say their names, but like I know some LSU people that they will get upset if you say UL because then it. Yeah.
All right. They don't want to.
Because it's University of Louisiana.
Yeah,
they want it to
like,
be University of Louisiana at Lafayette.
Right. It's like no.
Want to make it sound.
Yeah. I got you.
State University. I don't really care that much.
No dog in the fight.
I mean,
I'm a college dropout. I have definitely no dog in the fight.
It just doesn't. Yeah, but I think they're kind of a little, especially on sports. I guess that's what people care about. I think other than maybe baseball, it's kind of just two different.
Yeah.
Kind of levels. So it doesn't.
Point is that I think the official is UTA. Okay, you're jumping at
it's. I think it's,
at
but
the
you
Texas,
say UT though.
Okay,
say UT.
Okay,
so
UTA.
We're jumping at UT. Texas Relays.
Yep.
Every year UT.
Right. It's a huge competition. It's only high schools, right?
Incorrect. So UT Texas Relays, big track and field competition. A lot of schools go to. They have a high school division for like all events. They have. Yeah, and they have many high school divisions. They have like the elite division. They have the B division, C division. I mean, it's just
a big competition.
It's a really big meet, and they have college, and they have an elite, like a professional division.
Right. Yeah. And so you jumped not as a high schooler, not as a college athlete, but as an elite athlete.
And so the thing,
and an elite athlete unsigned.
Exactly. And so the thing was that the high school division starts at like 8 and it's like pretty late. So I pretty much said, I was like, I don't want to jump with it. I just jumped. I'm just freshly coming off the 19 feet 1 inch at New Balance National. So I know that I can compete with the elites for sure. And so I think that I could, it's not like I would just be like some high schooler, like way below them just for like, because I didn't want to jump at night.
Right.
But I knew that I saw the elite time and it was like 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So I knew it was a way better time to jump. So I knew I had a way better chance to jump a lot higher because the conditions were going to be a lot better.
Right.
So I pretty much, I was just like, I want to jump there. I don't want to have to jump at the high school.
I didn't realize that you had to convince them. I thought
we did. No, it was not like it wasn't like, hey, you want to come jump the elite?
I mean, like, I'm going to toot your horn a little bit, but it's like the poor high school athletes. Like, had you competed with them, it's like they want a chance to take home a gold.
Sure.
And it's not. It's almost not fair. I mean, like.
I mean, I don't know about that, but
no, it's not. I mean, I've seen you in high school meets. It's boring as hell, honestly.
It's not that. Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Sorry. I mean, it is. I mean, like that's why you do other things during high school meets so that you're not bored to tears. That's why you high jump. That's why you long jump and run the 100, 200 every once in a while.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, he's the state champion in long jump as well.
Incorrect.
Second place.
Second place.
You were first at that's Beaver Club. Sorry, Beaver Club, you're great. Not dissing you.
But it's not state.
No, it's not state. Not even close.
But state's not even. I mean, but
yeah,
state. No,
right,
it is good.
Second place. what was your long jump, by the way?
23 feet, 5 inches and 3/4, maybe 7:14.
You gonna do that again this year?
Do that again? Mean, are you gonna long jump or are you gonna jump that far?
Oh no, I know you're gonna jump that
Because
far.
if I do it, I'm gonna jump further for sure.
You're gonna. You can probably come close to 24.
I'll jump 24 feet this year. I think.
But you are gonna do it then, yeah.
Maybe. Well, the thing is, I do not know if I'll compete for high school this year.
And why is
Because, like you said, the competitions I can't really like. It's not quite the same as like distance running. You know, distance running you have to have a pacemaker and stuff. But I mean, it's still competition. You still have to have that. You still want that competitive, like, just like a competition. So, I want to go to meets that I can compete in. So, like the elite meets this year, but then LHSAA, the Louisiana sports said they can't. Like, I can't do both. And so
Do they not want we're
gonna.
Do they not want good athletics?
I think we're gonna have to talk to them. But so I don't think I was even gonna. I don't know if I was even gonna pole vault for like the state meet and stuff this year.
I mean, you could do other
but
things.
I was thinking about maybe doing like the 4x1 or doing a relay or doing the long jump.
As long as you don't, injure yourself.
That is messed up.
That's not fun to talk about.
I'm just saying.
Why do you say that? We got to be careful.
But why though? Like,
because does long jump in the end really matter? That's what I mean. I know you want to have fun and compete, and you deserve it. But I mean, if it's a rainy day and the sand is like concrete, then I wouldn't be.
Then I won't jump. That's what I did last time.
Yeah.
It was rain. It was legit rainy. It was
at
the
a
sand was
district.
pretty much concrete. So I just took one jump and I was left.
Yeah.
And I almost hurt myself on that one jump because
wasn't ideal conditions. All right, we're getting ADD here, so let's move back. So Texas realized you had jumped 19.1 in a quarter. And then you, at the Texas Relays, outdoor conditions were good. You were feeling good. You were jumping against the Canadian Sheauxtime Barber, the Canadian Olympian, correct? Who is how old now? Maybe 24?
24.
And who else? What was he? They were both.
Logan Cunningham. He's also in the Olympics.
So it was 2 Olympians. So it was you and 2 Olympians, right? That was the only 2 elite?
The Sheauxtime Barber, also the 2015 world champion.
Right. With a height of what?
590.
590.
19.4 and a quarter of an inch. That's what he jumped to win it.
To win it in 2015. So you won the world championship with that jump of 590, and then that day at Texas Relays, you jumped 590.
Correct.
So you jumped 19.4 and a quarter.
Yes.
And you won that one pretty handily at Texas. I mean, they jumped like 18.
They both jumped 550, 18 feet and a half an inch.
And then they missed, or they just passed?
Missed 565, I think it went to 18.6 and a half. Yeah, they just missed.
Interesting. What was your opening height at that one?
535, like 17.6 and a half.
Gotcha. So anyway, 590 now is your still is as of today, which is September 5th? September 5th.
Today?
Yeah.
So the 5th.
5th, 2017, your PR is still 590 from that Texas relay. Are you disappointed that you didn't jump higher than that during this summer? Were you expecting to? I mean, you made significant, ground this year, increasing your PR by what, like a foot, basically.
Yeah, I mean, so I can't really be disappointed. I don't want to.
This year was an insane year.
Anybody can't really be disappointed in the year I had, starting from 551 to go to 590, 39 centimeters, which is not really, especially, you hear about a person jumping 13 feet and then they go to 14 feet or 12 feet to 13 feet, but you don't really, this is pretty uncommon. So it was nothing, I can have no complaints about this year. I mean, the summer didn't obviously go out how I kind of would have planned, but I mean, you can't really complain about this. And so, no, I mean, I think that next year should be not quite as big, but because if I did, I think that I'd break the world record. That'd be world record.
That would be the world record. The actual world record,
that would
not
be,
U20.
That'd be the world record.
Yeah,
that would be. 100%.
If you did exactly 39 centimeters again,
that'd be way the world record.
Shit, yeah,
easy. And so
the world record is 616, and you're at 590, so 26 centimeters. So after Texas realized it was really when the press started picking up, right? I mean, that's not just actually local press took a little bit longer. It was really, that was national press. I mean, that was when New York Times came out. Later on, Gatorade. What else? Other than New York Times. Who did the Tiger Woods of pole vaulting?
A lot of some European. That was New York Times.
That was New York Times.
So there was a lot of like European people like coming in. It was so surprising to me because like there was like a couple times where they would fly in and like interview me for like a day, like interview me for 30 minutes and then they'd leave, like go back to Europe. I'm like,
people. Yeah.
That's it. That's like, you know, all that flying. Like I was like, I didn't think like I didn't think I was worth it at the time.
And
I was
because you're competing for Sweden, they had like a lot of like Swedish news, like those kind of people that
Yeah.
wanted to come in and do little pieces on you.
Yeah, exactly.
So that was pretty funny. And then the New York Times, damn it, I keep hitting things.
He's the one botching this whole thing. I'm out here playing ball.
I told Mondo no cursing, and then I'm the only one who's cursed so far. So yeah, New York Times. I mean, you've had like Flow Track and Mile Split and all that kind of stuff do little pieces on you.
Yeah.
And then you also got surprised later this year with the Gatorade National. What was it? National Track and Field Boy?
Track and Field Male Athlete of the Year. Yeah.
Male. I don't know why they didn't give you just the full thing though.
They got some studs. Like,
I mean, what did it do? It was a baseball player.
Baseball. He got drafted 4th overall. So
And
it's
he was how old?
senior.
That was a senior.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he can't. Yeah, that's pretty good.
I mean, I have no problem with it. Like it's like whatever.
No, but you know, you got a good trophy, and it's a huge award. I mean, you know, the entire nation male athlete of the year. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
That was a good surprise. Did you know about it when they surprised you?
No, I had no idea.
What did they do? They like sent you to French Press, a little brunch place here in Lafayette.
Well, first of all, they did all this.
Well, you go with your grandpa every Sunday.
We did all this exactly. So it was just any other.
It was another Sunday. Yeah.
And then, well, we did all these photos. Actually, a little story.
Oh, goody.
Let me do my thing.
Go ahead.
Let me do my thing. So, for some reason, I cared about this award more than most awards that I don't care about. And so I didn't want to, like at that time, I kind of got I've been having pretty heavy press. And so I was kind of tired of it. I didn't want to talk to really much people. And then so my mom said, you're going to, we have this photo shoot, like Ad Life at Eye for you. ESPN's doing the photo shoot.
Right.
By the way, this is the Gatorade people in like the skies. I mean, they didn't wear mustaches and stuff. They didn't, yeah. And so
unable to film.
Yeah. And
crushed my soul.
They were doing all the photos and stuff. So it's not but I told my, she said ESPN. I mean, think about it now, it's kind of funny to think about. I don't know what I was thinking, but I was like, no, I don't want to do it unless it's Gatorade. Because for some cut.
There's no cutting, just go.
And so
I can't wait. I have to explain this now to the people.
Wait, and so I'm gonna continue.
Mondo's so used to me filming the doc that anytime he doesn't like something he says, he just says cut. But he forgets that this is not a normal film.
All right,
and so this is all going to be.
You want me to just continue with the thing?
Yeah, please, just yes.
And then
you only wanted to do an interview with Gatorade.
So I told my mom, I said I don't want to do anything. I just want to do it with Gatorade, and she was like, just do it, just trust me, do it. And I was like, whatever. So we do this like photo shoot and stuff. I do like I'm looking at, you know, like all this stuff.
All the dramatic stuff, right.
Yeah, whatever. The green screen. I
take a
couple jumps. They got the drill, and it's cool.
Yeah.
It's cool stuff.
Right.
And then so the next day they surprised me with the trophy, and it was all cool and stuff. And what am I even supposed to be talking about? I don't.
you said you had a story. I started to interrupt. You said no. Let me do my thing, and this is where we've ended up now.
Oh, that's the story. How like I didn't want to do it because I thought it was ESPN. Because I didn't even want to do it because I just wanted the Gatorade award. That's it.
Yeah.
And then I didn't want to have to like
because you cared that much about the Gatorade award.
Yeah, I don't. It's just like every day I'd wake up in the morning because I forgot that for some reason I knew that they surprised you with it, but they had like all the Gatorade, and the person told me to like National Boys. The track and field was the last one to be announced, and so I was the last person to like get it, and so like every morning I'd look at the thing, and then I'd look to see if they announced like the boys track and field.
Right, and they had
it, and then they had this day that they were supposed to announce it, but that was just all the state winners, and I was like, that's
so
that's fun.
Yeah. They pulled you along. So right now in pole vaulting, it's, you know, when you really break it down, not judging by like actual any competition, but just kind of like current rankings or who's kind of to look forward to. It's Renault Lavillenie. Is that how you pronounce his last name?
It's fine. It's Lavillenie. I don't know. Like,
yeah, there you go. And then we have Sam Kendricks. What's the Polish guy's name?
Which one?
The one that came in third. And
Peter Lisek.
Thank you.
It's like Piotr, but like in like thing like if you just like translated the name to American, it's like Peter. It's like Victor, just Victor.
Yeah.
It's like Piotr, but it's Peter. Peter Lisek.
Peter Lisek. You, and then there's obviously a list of other Olympians, but those are kind of like, and then maybe the other Polish guy too, huh?
Paweł Wojciechowski. Yeah, he's good.
Anyone else?
That out Sheauxtime, I think.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, like we said, Shaughnessy Barber. Yeah, for Canada. I mean, these are people that are consistently making it into
the finals,
right?
The big championships. Yeah. Rafael.
And there's a bunch of other ones, but Thiago.
That's a like that. I'm not saying there's not a bunch, but like that's.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's
we
like
named
12.
them. We named them. There's about 10
that consistently make
it.
Gotcha. And we named whatever 6.
There's kind of some wild cards in there,
You think Renault? And Renault, for those who don't know, is the current world record holder from France. He took it from Sergei Bubka. Beat it by a centimeter. So that's he increased it from 6:15 to 6:16 now.
Correct.
But Renault is someone that you've looked up to because pole vaulting is obviously kind of like running in the sense that like there's only a certain amount of ways you can do it, but there's definitely different styles. And Renault has a very.
It's a lot different than running when you said styles.
I
think because there's so many different ways to pole vault. Because it's such a technical event, and it's so uniquely technical, if you can say that.
Right.
And so there's just endless ways to pole vault, and so.
But I mean, like there's subcategories, but there's like two main categories.
There's
right?
exactly, and I kind of lean more on that French style of pole vaulting.
Now, did Renault invent that, or was that around before him?
And so
he doesn't even answer. He's so disappointed.
But he's been jumping he's very young. He's 30 years old.
Everyone else did the other technique for the longest time, and he kind of came in and really
the French
modernized it.
The French were the first ones to really pole vault. They were
gotcha.
It's they had their own technique, and then they had this dude named Vitaly Petrov.
Yep.
I actually met him this season. Yeah. He had this style of the Sergei Bubka. He was Sergei Bubka's coach, and then so since he was Sergei Bubka at that time was just dominating
years on years, he just kept breaking his own world record.
Broke his own world record 38 times. It was just
and then the last time just 6:15 he held for 2 decades or something before
21 years.
Yeah,
exactly.
21 years.
And so obviously, so he's the best. You do what the best did. So everybody saw Bubka's the best, so everybody does what Bubka does.
So they did the Petrov.
But not everybody's the beast that he was, though, physically. And so majority of the people do the Bubka technique. But me...
Are they going to rename it Bubka technique now? Or is it still...
The Petrov technique, Bubka technique, whatever you want. And there's that and the French style kind of. And so I kind of... Everybody, for a coach, it's almost for me, I didn't like it because I heard this story with one of my brother's friends. He was a right-handed batter when he was naturally a right-handed, but the dad would go every time he'd grab a bat, he'd switch his hands, make sure he'd bat left-handed. So this thing, it was always just it was always taught, and so it's how they drive their knee up to swing.
Now, if people aren't watching, you got to kind of describe it a little bit better.
All right, I will. And so the real difference between the French style and the Bubka kind of Petrov style is that when you take off the ground, when you plant the pole, your trail leg, which is the leg you're not taking off with. So let's say I'm right-handed, I take off with my left leg. Yep. It's my right leg. That's your trail leg. And so they would have it kind of bent like this, and they that's how they drive it up.
Right. So instead of a straight leg, they kind of
instead of a straight leg,
tuck almost.
No, it's not a tuck. It's not a tuck at all.
With the trail leg's a straight leg.
The trail leg is straight, and then they just do that.
Gotcha.
And so it just kind of felt like when my dad did that technique though, because Bubka's the man. Do what Bubka does. He's the king. But then so I couldn't really I just found it because when I was a kid, I was pretty weak, and so I just really couldn't do it that efficiently, and so I kind of just like, it's not that like I decided to do the French thing. I would try as hard as I can to swing, and it would just happen that my legs would it would go what we call a double leg swing. It's kind of the French, just swing together, and then I'd tuck and shoot. It was just how it happened. I just thought that was the most efficient way.
Right.
Of
So the
pole vaulting.
Petrov thing is like whenever you see people, it's like one leg is straight out the trail leg, and then the other leg is kind of like bent, right? Because that's where they just took off from.
Yeah.
And so yours is just both legs swing up
Yeah, it's
together.
a double leg swing. And I kind of thought of it like you see the gymnastics people when they swing on the bars, they're not doing that, because that's what you're swinging up to the pole, and it's
Right.
you trying to
It is
trying to
gymnastics
conserve
in
as
a way,
much
right?
exactly. You're trying to conserve as much energy as possible. So I was thinking, if this
Model
way
off of
is
them.
all the best,
Right.
why would the gymnast not do that? And so I just thought that it was the most efficient way to swing up to the pole, and so
Yeah.
that's why I do it.
And so that's the same style that Renault does as well. I mean, you watched.
Yeah.
So, I mean, talk about as a kid, growing up, you're interested in pole vaulting, obviously. You kind of became obsessive with it. Your other brothers did it as well, but you were the one that kind of really, that was all you ever wanted to do, it seems like. So what were you doing as a kid? I mean, YouTube came out in 2005? So starting from that point on, were you just searching YouTube videos?
I feel like I could barely talk at 5, so maybe not that early. But
No, you were 6 at that point, right?
no,
You're still 5?
correct.
Good Lord.
And so,
Why are you so young, dude?
and so, I would
Okay, well,
think
maybe not right
I
when YouTube
really-
came out.
I really started watching a lot of videos just for like, because I wasn't studying videos. That's not how, it was just watching it for fun. Because the really thing was why I watched videos when I was younger, it wasn't to study film. It was because we had a pole vault pit in our backyard, like everybody knows, ever since I grew up. I wasn't writing down notes watching these videos. I would watch, because everybody jumps different. I'd watch the pros jump and I'd reenact their technique. I'd like try to copy it and I'd do it just for fun. And my dad would laugh, he'd love it. And then, so that's what I would do. I'd just do it kind of as a joke, but then you kind of see all these techniques and you kind of,
Start to
when you
form.
actually like copy it, I kind of would see like, because sometimes I'd copy this technique and I'd actually jump pretty high and I'd be like,
Whoa.
wait, hold up. This actually kind of works a little bit.
Right,
so I
right.
just kind of take what I would
Which basically take the good things from each one and develop.
take whatever I like from each one and then develop my own technique pretty much.
So,
So
like, give me an example of like some people you were watching back in the day.
a lot of so I kind of saw that when I copy these techniques, it's kind of more this French style. It's more like Pierre Quinon, the Olympic champion in the 84 Atlanta, and then Terry Vigneron, the first person to ever jump 590, is also French. And then I mean, lots of other pole vaulters. And then but it kind of just saw that it kind of shifted more toward this French double leg swing style of pole vaulting. So I kind of developed my technique from there.
Yeah. So, as far as like the competitors that you're with now that you're kind of in the elite division and you're going to be competing with them more often, and already have competed with them, I mean, like, what do you see in each competitor? I know you're friends with Renault quite a bit. Sam's a really nice guy, the American Olympian from Ole Miss, and Lisik is a great competitor. So, like, do you get any inspiration from them, or is it now? I mean, these are people that you looked up to, but now you're competitors with them, right? So, what is that like?
So yeah, I obviously 5.
Because you're much younger than them, right? I mean,
Yeah,
normally, by the time you had gotten to their level, they would be retired, right? These are people you looked up to, and then
that was always the thing. I always tried to do the math on if I would ever be able to compete with Renault. I would
Right.
see that, and I was like,
Because Renault is what? Renault's 30?
he's 30 now, and I was like, he's gonna have to be pretty old because I wasn't expecting to be jumping this high this early, and I was like, so yeah, I was always that was kind of like, you want to break the world record, you want to win the Olympics, you want to win the world championships, but then that was kind of always that thing that I always wanted to compete against Renault. That was, I mean, it's
Of all the people, he's the one you looked up to the most?
in my opinion, he's the greatest ever pole vault.
He has the numbers to back it up.
I jump pretty similar to him. And so when I watched videos, I mean, if I had like this go-to, like a little favorite on the toolbar, It was
him.
Renault.
Yeah.
And so he's the man. He's the one that I think is the best. And so I wanted to compete against him eventually one time in my life. And then I jumped against him for the first time. Prefontaine.
In Oregon.
The
My biggest American track meet.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's actually quite a big track meet. It's a great track meet.
It was fantastic.
It's awesome for America because
And
it's not something you see.
Yeah, and it was kind of like this. It was not really like I expected it to be, though. I think maybe like that's just the competitiveness in me. Like it kind of wasn't this like la 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 fairy tale like watching like because like when I was like right when I got on the track, I didn't even feel like I was competing against Renault. I just like I want to beat this.
You were
dude.
just competing.
Like I was like I want
You were
to
just competing.
I don't
He's a
even know.
competitor.
I forgot what his name was. I just want to beat it. I didn't forget his name. But I was
we
like,
get it.
I just wanted like I didn't want to. So now, I mean, I've competed against him a couple more times after that, and it just feels like, I mean, no, it's a little different kind of friendship, but then I just feel like he's kind of any other competitor. He jumps higher than most of the other competitors, but he's just somebody that I want to beat now.
Yeah. How's the transition going? I mean, we can talk about, we don't have to go through every meet, but basically since I've started filming you, it was, Texas Relays I missed, and then it was Mount Sac. And of course there was like some state meets in there, district meets for Louisiana. Then there was Mount Sac, and then Pre, and then Worlds. So Pre was in May. That was the first time that you competed against. Other than I guess Texas, you competed against Olympians.
Yeah, like I competed against Renault, first Diamond League meet, and then so competed against Diamond League meet it's called the Diamond League Circuit. It's like the series of meets that the professionals compete on. So it's like it is the bigs kind of. Yeah. And so that was my first.
That was a big deal. You know,
it was a really big deal. Yeah,
it was awesome, and you proved yourself. You got fourth place.
Yeah, it was great. I think that
you were damn near third. You know,
and I got fourth place, and I was so mad I didn't even want to talk to anybody after because I thought that I should have done better. And it was.
What'd you jump that meet? It was
571, 18.8 and 3/4. Might be 18.9. It's like 18.8 and a good bit of change.
Right. So, I'm filming you at practice all the time. You're on a little bit of a break right now, but, all last summer, all this summer, and then last spring. What do you normally jump in practice? You're jumping like 550, 560 at practice pretty consistently?
I think you're kind of budging me a little bit, but
That's true, because you come in, you do so few steps at practice.
Yeah, you run from a shorter approach to get a little more jumps in and work on technique. But depends on when you're talking. Like when the highest I've jumped in practice is 19 feet. I jumped 19 feet even one time.
Oh,
but this was
that before you jumped 19 feet?
This was
an actual meet.
A week after Texas Relays. So like this is when I'm rolling.
Where was I? Why was I not there?
You weren't there, but I have a video of it, but you were not there.
Why are you jumping that high without the cameras on you?
You just weren't there. That's on you.
That is on me.
I think I still was at that point where I didn't invite you to stuff. You just had to like ask where I was. You know what I'm saying?
Right, yeah.
No, that's
that was the truth.
That is. So
I missed out on a lot of good things.
Yeah, I think apparently. You did. No, sorry about that.
Yeah.
So
okay, so anyway, you're jumping, all right, so you jump a little under 550 consistently at practice, right? Because you're jumping from fewer steps, just to make sure you're getting consistency in.
If I was running from full, I maybe touch 570, but not usually. I mean, I just don't jump as high in practice because I need that adrenaline pumping and stuff.
We also don't exactly have the greatest track to be jumping crazy heights on. Lafayette High, bless Lafayette High, we love him.
I disagree.
Oh, really?
I do. I think that Lafayette High is a good enough. I don't think it's as good as Texas Relays or
when you have
Eugene.
Football players.
Yeah,
that's
true.
Crowding around.
Yeah, that's true.
You'll see that shot in the documentary. I'm not going to give it away, but
no.
Let's just say he's got.
It's the money shot.
It is. It's a great shot.
Let's just say that's what we call it in.
Let's just say track and field is not the predominant athletic at Lafayette High. And anyway, so all right, but you think as far as when you do have the track to yourself, it is a great.
I don't
place
even
to
care
jump.
if I have the track to myself. I think that it's a good runway. My dad actually was involved in like setting it up, so like it's a good place to jump. I have no complaints about when I can have the pit out there when it's past football season.
Right.
And past soccer. It's a fine place to jump.
So when did you outgrow your backyard pit?
After my freshman year, I think. Once you
What
start
height,
getting
though?
past about 16 feet, once you start getting past
A little
16
dangerous.
feet, because the backyard and there's a brick wall that is connected to the pit.
Right.
So it's just like
If you have any,
it's just like
when you're dropping from 18 feet, it's not exactly.
yeah, you don't want to do that. You don't want to do that.
No.
And then for me to jump 16 feet, I'd have to run so close that I can't even have enough speed to even like build up. It's just not worth the. It's you can't do it.
Yes. You need a lot of space.
You need a lot of space.
And I mean, I've seen you at practice. You know, if you just take the jump wrong, I mean, you'll hang on the pole right, and then it just flings you. So I mean, you've almost missed the pit before. So if you did that next to a brick wall, that would be really bad.
Yeah, like there's some. If I did some of the same stuff I do like at Lafayette Eye, and our pit's a lot smaller than Lafayette Eyes,
Yeah.
I would go if I hang like those bailouts that I do. If I hang on the pole and like ride it out, you say,
Right.
I'd go boop, right into the neighbor's backyard.
Right. I thought of an office.
That'd
quote.
be a good shot, actually. Me
No,
going
no,
into
no.
the neighbors.
Let's not.
If I
get
wasn't hurt, if I didn't get hurt.
Well, I mean, you would though. So it's a.
Mhm.
It's a void proposition.
It's all about the money shot.
Yeah, that's another thing. Ever since I got this documentary, Mondo's become obsessed with like getting me good footage now, and he's going to great lengths to like try and hurt himself. Like, he's like, I just need to come down with like the flu or something. It's like, dude, can you not? Like, stop worrying about the documentary. Let me just document what happens.
All right, continue.
Okay, so all right, so after pre. Thank you, Anna Claire. So after pre, the next big meet was Worlds. Let's touch on that
Not
quite
true.
a bit. No, what was next? Oh, I missed.
Diamond
You're right.
League meet in Lausanne.
All right, you're right, shit. The next one that I was there for, you had a big European tour this summer.
Mhm.
All right, go through some of those. I wasn't there, but tell me about them.
Big meet in Switzerland. Then
Which you won, right? Second. Lisek won that one. Third? What'd you do? How bad did you do?
I made. So this is the day after I land in Europe. So like I did not feel good at all.
Yeah.
I actually jumped 573 though. 18.9 and like a quarter.
Yeah.
Just not a bad jump at all.
No.
But it was on. Since attempts I got 7th. Like 4th place was 573, but I not good on attempts. And so yeah, that wasn't
the best.
no.
All right, let's just skip past that one. What's the one that you did good? You did really good in one of them.
No, I didn't do that. I didn't do that.
I thought you
great.
got second in
I
one.
got second, yeah.
Okay.
Jumped 570 against the dude who got second in the World Championships
Yeah, against
in,
Lisa.
in Germany. That was in Germany, and then
Yeah.
I had to meet little kind of hometown meet in Sweden, and then a World Champs. No, and then in Italy the European Under-20 Championships, and I won that.
See,
that was
there
good.
we go. Now we're talking.
Well,
we
I
get a
mean-
win. We get a W.
All right, there it is.
There it is. All right. Well, shit. I thought you did better. Guess not. This
What's-
summer was kind of a fun one, huh? All right. Let's go to Worlds. So, World Championship this year was held in London at the Olympic Stadium. Beautiful stadium. Really nice stadium. And I flew into Sweden to meet you and your family. Y'all were staying at your aunt's house in Sweden.
That's correct.
And oh, that lovely smile. You're staying at your aunt's house in Sweden, and you were just getting ready. Y'all were there pretty early because you were there from Switzerland and all those other places. I mean, you were in Europe all summer, correct?
Yeah, I had to be in Europe for like a fairly long time. You got to get used to the time change and all that, and then main reason I was in there for so long was kind of to be with my family back in Sweden, you know.
Right. And so you were in Sweden for what, like 2 weeks, and then you left for London. So we were filming in Sweden a little bit, watching some good movies.
Great movies.
Great movies. Actually, you didn't like 2 of them, but that's fine. We don't have to go into that.
We know.
You have a bad taste in film. It's fine.
No, I liked the other one. I just didn't like the ending. I loved it actually. I respect the ending now. It was kind of a little like, you know, in the moment you're like,
Which one are we talking about? Sicario or Whiplash?
I'm not even talking about. Come on, let's go.
Which one are we talking about?
Let's go. Come
Which
on.
one are we talking about?
Let's go. I watched Whiplash back at home. Remember?
Again?
No, I watched it on the way. I watched it on the way to home on the airport. I mean, on the plane.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so anyway, so going into London, it's your first humongous championship. You know, I mean, Prefontaine was really big. You got to compete with the big dogs, but this is the first time you're in a world championship.
I mean, it's the same people, but just
world stage.
Same people means a lot more.
Means a lot more. 80,000 people are there to watch this time
I mean,
instead of like
stupid amount of people were there.
Because people really care about track and field in Europe,
and especially London. Supposedly London is just like crazy big. I mean, it was.
I heard even the Rio Olympics were.
And our qualifying was at, was it 9 in the morning or so, or 10 in the morning, and it was packed.
It was packed.
And I look, and there's like to the side, and just it's like all full. And I was like, it's 10 in the morning. Like I didn't even want to get up to jump at that time. Like I can't believe they came up to like watch us jump. It was like, wow.
Yeah. So we got some good footage earlier in the week. Picture of you in your robe, all that good stuff. Look on my Instagram for that. It'll be funny. We had a good time earlier in the week, kind of trying to distract you, I guess, from what was coming up, which is fine. But let's talk about qualifying now. So you come in on qualifying day, which is two days before the finals.
Like I said, it was early in the morning.
Yeah.
And so like 10 o'clock, I'm just get into the qualifying.
Sure.
So the qualifying's early. It's about 10 o'clock in the morning. So you got to wake up pretty early, especially because calling's 90 minutes before. So, it's early. I had to wake up pretty early, and I haven't been sleep. I just wasn't sleeping good in London. I don't know what it was about. I mean,
it probably was nerves.
Maybe, but I guess so. But I didn't I wasn't shaking or anything, but like I just could not sleep. Slept like 5 hours every night. I think that was kind of catching up to me too. And so, it was very inefficient qualifying. I in total took 10 jumps in the competition, which is way more than I think I've ever taken.
Right.
So I made my opening bar last attempt.
Right.
The next bar,
you almost no-heighted.
The next bar second attempt. The next bar second attempt, and then the qualifying bar 570 last attempt. Which really, it was actually a good jump. My last jump.
It's a great jump.
And so it was. I mean, it was really.
I laugh because I'm talking about how stressed we were in the stands, but like we're not the ones actually doing the jump.
Yeah,
I can't imagine what you were kind of.
I do feel, but then at the same time, I have confidence in myself. I'm not saying y'all don't have confidence in me, but like
we're not you. We don't know
y'all
exactly.
Don't know what I know. Y'all don't know if I.
All we know is you gave up.
For all y'all know, I'm like I'm done. I quit bowling forever.
Believe me, we thought it for.
Yeah, I bet y'all did. And so,
but I mean, I think that was what's incredible about qualifying was it really did show. It's like the dude can freaking just persevere through a really hard qualifying round. You know, I mean, like not jumping your best on the first two of almost all the heights, right? Except for one.
Every jump was terrible.
It was bad, but you just powered through it. You just powered through it and qualified.
It really like showed me after. I was like, I jumped 570, like which is 18.8 and a quarter of an inch.
Right.
Like I jumped 570, like this qualifying. Like that was like it is almost like. And then think back on that, like how bad of a day that was for me. Like how to make it to the finals on such a bad day. Like just to think about. Because the goal before the year was make it to this meet.
Right.
And then
a lot has changed.
And I make the finals, become the youngest male field athlete to ever make the finals
in the world
on this day that I think back on at the time was a terrible day for me.
Right.
And so, and it was, I mean, most stressful thing probably ever. And,
it's good to get down and out the way. That's for sure.
It is for sure, but I think it'd have been if I'd have missed my last attempt at 570, so I wouldn't have made it. That'd have probably been one of the worst days.
It would have been because it just would have been because it's one of those things where it's like you could easily jump 570
exactly
on any day,
but then
it's just that day you couldn't. But you did it. You did it last attempt.
Yeah.
Very last second. It was really stressful.
Yeah.
But that's right because you did it and you persevered through. All right, so you've made it to the finals. Again, like you said, youngest male athlete to ever make it to the finals in a field event in the World Championships. Big accomplishment. So talk to me about the finals. What was that like? Even more people were there, first of all.
And I kind of didn't realize until after I kind of got on the track. but I was a lot more worn out from the prelims than I thought I was.
And not just prelims, but it was a long season.
It
was a
very
really
long,
long
and
season.
the season wasn't planned for the World Championships because
you didn't know you're going to even qualify.
I didn't know I was even going to qualify. And
a year ago is what you're saying.
I wasn't physically top form, especially all that. And then I was pretty worn out from the qualifying. A lot more, like when you wake up, you got to start moving before you realize that you're tired.
Right.
Kind of like your muscles are like kind of not working with you.
Yeah.
And so and you got so much adrenaline you can't even feel your hands. So then you don't know anything really. And so it just, I made my opening bar first attempt, which is the only bar I ended up making actually, 550, 18 feet and half an inch, which is, I mean, nothing. It's a bar that should be easy, but it wasn't. I knew going into after warm-ups, I knew it was going to be hard because it was kind of, I don't have to do anything to make 550, but it was just hard to even take a jump.
Right.
Just to even complete a full jump. So I just knew it was going to be pretty tough. And so it was, I don't know, it's just hard to, it didn't go as planned, obviously, and
right.
It's so hard to explain really what happened. Long season, I didn't feel good physically. I was tired from the qualifying. I mean, it's just excuses, I guess, but at the same time, it's just like, I don't know.
They're valid excuses.
I guess.
They're excuses, but they're valid excuses.
I guess they're valid.
I mean, the reality is you could have jumped higher, right? I mean, you could have.
I could have.
And there was just some things that just got in the way.
But the thing that doesn't really upset me as much as I think it would, I think that if the World Championships was a week after my PR jump at Texas, I think, and I'd have jumped 550, I'd have been devastated for months. Right. But then I knew that this is the thing. When I'm most sad is really when, other than, this was kind of a little bit exception because it was such a big...
Just to let people know, you ended up coming in 9th place, Worlds. Certainly nothing to be ashamed of, but not what you wanted.
Exactly.
Understandably, right? Because you can jump higher. So it wasn't the greatest performance, but you came out 9th as a 17-year-old. Yeah. Unprecedented. Anyway, continue.
And so, yeah, if it had been a week after the Texas, I'd have been devastated to jump 550 because I wouldn't have. I'd have jumped at least 580 or something. I'd have jumped really high. But then it just wasn't, at that time, I kind of knew what I just wasn't very polished at that time, I guess to say it. And so,
well, and like you said, a year ago, right, you were jumping 550.
Yeah.
You would have been ecstatic to know that you even had a shot at qualifying for Worlds, right? You didn't know that you'd be in Worlds and that you would need to start training physically for a World Championship.
Exactly. And so,
right, which is a much different type of training that you have to do compared to what you're normally doing.
I never,
so you only had
I never trained until this year.
Right.
So then it's not like
really train,
Exactly. Yeah. Or I would just jump whenever I want, pretty much.
Elite athlete training, it wasn't.
Not even elite. That's where you're wrong. What I'm doing right now is still not even close to elite athlete training. I'm just jumping elite athlete heights.
Right.
No, I'm just jumping elite athlete heights.
I see.
Because I'm very raw on the physical side of the pole vaulting, but like technique and that wise experience.
Right.
I started when I was 4 or 5 years old.
Right. Like you said, pole vaulting's it's a repetition game, and you've done as many repetitions as they have just because you started so young.
That's what they say.
But physically, you got a lot of room to grow. I mean, you're still...
They always ask me...
I think you still got a couple inches left in you,
I might
stretch marks.
I might grow an inch. I got the stretch marks. Yeah. And so they always ask me, like, how does it feel to be 17 competing against these people? And I was like, I don't look at it as that. I look at it, I've jumped just as long as they have.
Right.
So it doesn't seem that much.
You jumped as many years. It just is that you're just younger. You just started younger. But it means that I
just have less hair on my face than them.
You have a lot less hair.
A lot less. None of it, actually.
You have none.
But it's like you.
Now, the only thing you don't have is that you may have the same... Oh, that's nice. You don't have the same... You have the same maybe years of jumping, but you don't have the same... at this age, at this point, right? Of this kind of height.
Obviously, I know, not the physical maturity yet.
Sure.
So which will give me, because that was my dad's.
Which will only make you better. So that's good.
My dad's rule was he said, he was always said, like, when you get to about that 18 age, he says, you get a foot of height just from that maturity and that getting a lot stronger.
Yep.
I think it doesn't quite apply to me. because that I think it's a little maybe exception because
a little stretch, but you'll definitely just the way you hold your, that kind of thing.
The way you get
have a little more
strong,
muscle
it's just
kind
that
of thing,
that natural strength and speed that I'll get will be.
Yeah.
So
well, I mean, exactly. I mean, males don't. 17 is not our peak. That's.
I mean, and look at me. It's like I was not like that matured yet,
Yeah.
And so, yeah.
So you got room to grow.
I think so.
So ultimately, Worlds was not the greatest performance, but certainly nothing that you're gonna be forever disappointed about.
Exactly. It was, and so
it was quite the experience.
It would be even cool to just to tell my kids or something or whoever wants to listen to me about how about just being able to even make it to the World Championships at 17 years old and then to be able to make the finals. So it'll be it was disappointing kind of in the moment, but I think it'll be something to look back on and be proud of.
What's your goal for this year? I mean, do you set hard goals, or do you kind of just let yourself be loose with it and see what happens?
It's just so I really I'm gonna I was about to say I am gonna and my goal for sure is at the World Championships, the World Indoor Championships in Birmingham, that I want to take a medal. Like I really, really do.
So 1 year from now, basically, a little less than a year now.
Not even like 4 months.
Oh, World Indoor.
Indoors.
I'm sorry. I missed that.
Yeah. It's coming up on you.
Wow.
It's coming up.
You saying I got to buy another plane ticket to Europe?
I'm sorry.
Oh, man. You would like to take a medal. And I'm assuming that, not saying it has to happen this year, but I know that 6 meters is, obviously.
But
that's every pole vaulter's goal in life, right? I mean, there's only, 20 people that have ever jumped it?
Yeah. The goal, I really want to, obviously I want to jump 6 meters this year, but I think that I want to do both. I want to jump 6 meters and then I want to take a medal in the World Indoor Championships. I think that if I had to pick both, if I had to pick one of them, I think it'd probably be the medal because you can't, I would jump 6 meters eventually. I think soon.
I think it's on the horizon.
I'm going to jump it this year. I think, but just to be able to get a medal at 18 years old, especially even win it, that would sound so cool. Like it's like somebody like 18. I feel like you're still kind of like a child almost.
Yeah.
I mean, even though that's the year you finally become not a child,
yeah.
But I feel like 18 years old win a medal sounds a lot better than 19 years old. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, I don't think you need to focus as much on the ages, but yes, I get what you're saying.
But you know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying. I do know what you're saying.
It sounds cool.
It's a difference between high school and college. That's what the difference is.
And
it's a big difference.
All right, I want to win a medal as a high schooler.
There you go. But like, what exactly do you need to do to actually rap?
To rap.
I said rap because I know you're thinking, hey, Brennan, wrap it up.
Wrap it up.
What I meant to say,
dude.
What I meant to say was,
I'm getting hungry.
I know. All right, we're gonna get you food. No, but to actually jump higher, is it just strength and then moving up poles, or like what?
There's
too much to eat.
It's just I can say
too late in the interview.
I'll say this. There is lots of technique to it. There's obviously a lot of room for technique, but I feel like a lot of the speed and the physical stuff kind of goes with the technique because you got to be pretty strong and you got to be fast to do some of the parts of the technique. Mm-hmm. So the strength and the speed will kind of build up the technique.
Yeah.
So it kind of coincides.
Yeah. So it's a matter of getting bigger but maintaining the speed kind of thing.
Yeah.
Is there like a particular size you want to be?
No,
Weight or
I don't really know
Yeah.
that yet. I don't know, not really.
Just basically this year, get stronger.
Yeah, exactly.
Train a little bit harder.
I don't want to get too big though, obviously.
Right.
Because this is like my dad's number one. Like this is like, I think it's a great saying too for pole vaulting. He says like, whatever muscle is not helping is hurting in pole vaulting. So if you don't like whatever, meaning you're not gonna build up muscles that you're not using in pole vaulting.
Sure.
Because if it's not helping, it's hurting.
Right.
So you don't want.
So what are some muscles maybe that don't get used as much?
Like I'm not gonna go and like
lift a bunch of traps.
I'm not gonna go do bench. I don't do bench press, which most people do. A lot of pole vaulters do because it's a generic workout. I don't really need that chest.
Right. You need much more abs. You need much more
exactly.
shoulders.
It's more abs, and then I guess I don't want my legs big, but I need to be fast, and then some Yeah, a little bit
right. You don't want to be
shoulders and
swinging some tree trunks up there, you know.
Exactly.
Yeah, I got you.
Exactly.
There's so much more to talk about with Mondo, but you're just gonna wait for the documentary because I don't want to give away too much stuff.
Can't give away too much.
Follow Mondo on Instagram and on Twitter, right?
Instagram mostly, but
You can follow me. I have no followers.
Mondo_Duplantis.
I thought it was Mondo Hollis.
Mondo_Duplantis.
Okay, Mondo_Duplantis, and I think me, I'm B_Robodo. Basically, you want to keep up to date with the documentary, you could follow those two places. We'll have stuff.
But you haven't even posted
I'm
anything.
gonna post some stuff, all right? Anyway, all right, so
the next picture he's gonna post
the reality is this documentary probably won't be coming out until 2020. That's when the Tokyo Olympics are. And so I plan on following Mondo until that point. But we'll release stuff as we go.
Yeah, but thank you for having me on the show. It's
all right, dude. Let's just go get some food, huh?
It's been a pleasure.
You don't have to fluff me up. You don't have to fluff me up. Thanks for listening to this episode of Sheauxtime. The podcast is sponsored by no one. Well, not yet at least, but it could be you or your business. So if you know someone or if you are interested in sponsoring this podcast, get in touch with me. SheauxtimePodcast@gmail.com. Sheauxtime spelled SHEAUX time podcast. Also, if you're enjoying the podcast, one of the ways you can really help me out is by making sure you're subscribed to it on iTunes or whatever podcast app you use. It's free and super easy to do, but it helps us out a ton. And if you're really enjoying the podcast, you can leave us a review or a rating on iTunes and on Facebook. It really only takes about 15 seconds. Here, go ahead and do it. I'll wait. Did you do it yet?